Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Fairy Tale family, where our goal is to put a little bit of magic into your everyday. I'm Chelsea, and today we are talking about weight loss. So it was a year ago today that I posted maybe it's definitely my most vulnerable video, and one that I really did not want to film. And that was me sitting in this exact room, just in a different place, talking very honestly about the fact that I was going to have weight loss surgery in 24 hours. That was the first in this series, the first video in the weight loss series. And that was, honestly, those were my heartfelt fears, reasons, and concerns for why I was progressing through with a surgery that I consider to be somewhat dramatic. It's not necessarily a life-saving surgery, although for some it can be. While I don't consider myself someone who was so morbidly obese that I would have literally died without it, it was causing anxiety, depression, really uncomfortable topics to discuss with anyone, let alone to an audience. So I want to backtrack a little bit for those of you who haven't been here with the Fairy Tale family. Yes, this is Fairy Tale family content, but this is really coming from me, Chelsea, rather than from like a branded point of view. And I suppose those two are intertwined because I am the branding of the Fairy Tale family, but just so you know, this is my personal experience and my personal journey, and it's okay if you don't agree with me. We'll just put that out there to start. So I had been overweight since a few years out of college. However, I had felt overweight since 5th grade. 5th grade was the first time that someone called me fat to my face, and it was because I developed earlier than my peers did. I grew and then didn't grow again. I'm 5'2.5", 5'3" generously. I grew in 5th grade, I grew in 5th grade, and then didn't grow height-wise again, ever. So I was taller, I was bigger than the other girls in my grade, and I can distinctly remember the name of the girl. She was a friend of mine, where we were sitting, where my teacher was sitting, the activity that we were doing when she called me fat for the first time. And that was an immediate trigger for me because my mom was overweight for much of my younger life. And there was a really big emphasis on food, eating healthy, being active. And it was my mom trying to protect all of us from going through what she went through. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to have surgery, because the pain that she must have felt watching us struggle with our weight. Sorry. That pain was something that I don't think I could tolerate with my own daughter, with the fear that she would go through that same type of body hatred for the majority of her developing life. So from 5th grade through college, I don't think I was ever actually medically overweight. But the way I saw my body in every photo, in every dressing room, in getting dressed in the morning for school, like I felt like I had to overcompensate for that. And I was never comfortable in my own skin, and I faked it. Oh, did I fake that? As an adult too, I faked that confidence because I knew that I could be funny or really smart, and that I can get along with anyone. And I used those positive aspects of my life to overcompensate for this area that I was so ashamed by. And that's really, that shame turns into guilt, turns into loathing. And if you've been there ever, whether your body is physically overweight or not, if that is a mental cycle that you're going through, it is all consuming. It is all consuming. It eats away every thought. Everything that you could give yourself credit for is then disqualified by, well, I'm fat though. That mental voice she's awful, awful. And no amount for me of dieting in very unhealthy ways or therapy quieted her. So when I was presented with the opportunity to have weight loss surgery, I thought, well, that feels extreme. Let me try everything else first. And I did. And part of the qualifying process for having weight loss surgery is proving that you have tried everything that you possibly can. You know, to lose weight for my wedding, where I was a size 8-10, and I was coming from a size probably 14-16, I used pills that quite literally took the fat from your system and you digested it out. And if you ate too much fat, everything you digested out bowel-wise was oily. And you were at risk of incontinence all the time. So I used that for a year, and I trained for a half marathon while having never ever run distance before. It worked, but it was unhealthy and it was a mess. It just wasn't the right way to go about it. So that was the last time prior to weight loss surgery that I had experienced success in weight loss. And I knew that I couldn't do that sustainably. Which is healthier, being overweight or using diet pills? I'm not sure which is better for my organs internally because I am not a medical expert. So after I tried for a year and a half, every diet, every exercise regimen, putting myself through great pain and discomfort, and having lost not even 10% of my own body weight, I realized I needed something more. And that's when I started looking into very seriously the option of having a weight loss surgery, because there are different kinds. So during the program that I was in, it was a year and a half program because I had to go through psych evaluations, and I took you through this. You know, I've taken you through these videos. I'll make sure they're linked above, but I do take you with me to my appointments, and I kind of do a reflection after each one. Lately, they have been, I haven't had many because I am a year out, but they've been all telemedicine. So I'm not doing reflections because they're just check-ins, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I had to go through a psych exam. I had to meet with a nutritionist. I had to take several courses on what life post weight loss surgery looked like. There were in-depth appointments about the surgery itself. There were boot camps. So, and you did have to lose 10% of your body weight come hell or high water in order to qualify for the surgery, to make it easier for the surgeon to move your organs as they were doing surgery. So it was a safety procedure. So that took about a year and a half to lose 20-ish, a little more pounds at that time. And then a year ago was the day. It was the day that I had surgery. So I'm going to insert the clip of me in the hospital. And I know I put this in a previous video, but I just want you to see what that looks like here. Well, if we're being very honest, this kind of sucks. Jacobs. I'm less than 24 hours out of surgery. I've been resting a lot and drinking water in medicine cups. I'm supposed to get through 4 of these
8-ounce bottles, and I've had this one since 5:30 this morning, and I'm not done with it yet. So slow going. I did try to eat some soup, promptly barfed her up. There's been some barf, although there's nothing really to throw up. There's been the act of barfing, which is usually just like a lot of trapped gas, because that's the most uncomfortable part. Like the incision area is sore, and I think can be modified with Tylenol. My morphine pump is gone already. I'm not on any heavy drugs, but the gas part, nothing alleviates that, and it's just like sitting here in my chest. So I've been trying to get up and do some walking by myself and my trusty Bag-A-Rooney, but that's where we are. So I'm scheduled to go home tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna sit in the car and not throw up. I might have to bring a bucket with me. Any type of movement usually makes my stomach go crazy. So that's where we are. Fingers crossed it gets better from here. I'm just trying to be patient, give myself some grace, and go slowly. So that's update number 1 post-surge.
A year ago today, I could not have told you with certainty that having weight loss surgery would change the course of my life and be one of the best decisions that I have ever made. At the time in the hospital, those days were so hard, and I was fighting down to keep medicine cups of water in my system, and to drink 6 ounces of soup over 24 hours. That was hard, and it hurt, and I threw up a lot in the beginning. And that's not to say that there haven't been bumps. This is not an easy procedure. I had the sleeve procedure, which is not gastric bypass, so none of my organs were rerouted, especially my intestines. Everything is where it is supposed to be, but my stomach went from being the size it was to being about the size of a cheese stick. They tell you it's banana shaped, but it is not the size of a banana. There is a distinct difference between a cheese stick size and a banana size, okay? So it is the size of a cheese stick, and you can over time stretch that. So if you don't follow the procedures, you don't follow the new routine, the lifestyle, you will gain your weight back. That scares me. A year out, that terrifies me, that at some point I could be back to where I was. And verbal conversations with the people in my life who are my support system so that they can help keep me in check too. And if ever you felt like you were going overboard, you can go back to that 2-week liquid diet and re-shrink your pouch, which is what they call your tummy now. So that's helpful to know as well, that you can do non-surgical options to reshape that cheese stick in your tummy. I wish that you could feel, and I don't know if I'm like portraying it here, but the difference in me a year ago to me now, energetically, emotionally is kind of the big one. Oh my God, I'm a different person. I'm a different person because that confidence that I was always faking is real now. And I'm not saying that to sound cocky or arrogant. I'm saying that because I don't think about my body. All of that energy that was going into the shame, the guilt, the loathing, that cycle that lived up here doesn't exist. And it gives me back 80% of my brain and my brain's energy to think about my daughter, my husband, the fairy tale family, teaching, things I like to do. Like, it gives me my life back. And I feel so proud to have made this choice and to be living a lifestyle that I always wanted to live. In this week's email, and I'll leave the sign up below. I am gonna do before and afters because I have at like every 3-month stage of the game, I'm gonna do before and afters. And I'm also gonna be sharing with you some things that I have done this past year that were a gift because of weight loss surgery. Like things that I'm able to do now that a year ago I wouldn't or couldn't do. And a lot of it really isn't that I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it because I would be embarrassed to do it. So that's where we are a year in this process. I went from being a size 18 in women's dresses and pants and an XXL on top to being a size 6'8" and a hard medium. Like that's my fit right now. This dress is a size 6, which is why I'm wearing it for you here on camera. I would have never shown my arms before like this. And yes, I still have skin here, and I have skin on my thighs and on my little mom pooch on my tummy, because this year was about the weight loss, and this upcoming year gets to be about toning my body to be how I want it to look. Now, disclosure, if I just wanted to keep these and not care, I would. But now that I am finally within the reach to be able to tone my muscles, to have them look like muscles, I really want to. I want to see and push to see what I can get my body to do in a healthy way. Healthy. So it's kind of like setting up these body challenges for me where I'm gonna like target one muscle group at a time in addition to cardio and see what I can tone on my own. And that doesn't mean that I expect to look like a Sports Illustrated model a year from now. That is not the case. But I feel like if I can continue to improve myself in a healthy way, I really want to. I started this journey weighing 235 pounds. And that was after the 20% weight loss. So I actually started this journey much heavier than that, but the day I walked into surgery, I weighed 235 pounds. And this morning when I stepped on the scale, I weighed 145 pounds. So I am down 90, and yes, it is a goal of mine to lose a clear and clean 100 pounds. I don't expect to stay 135 because that's gonna put me at like a size 4. That's unreal. Unreal. And I'm not gonna purchase clothes in a size 4. I'm not gonna go out and buy things that are extra small. Like that, I don't expect to stay there, but I really wanna challenge myself to get there through adding more cardio, drinking way more water than I currently am, because that is something I need to work on. But yeah, that's where we are. And I went from a BMI that was, hang on, I have to check that. That was a 38. To now a BMI that's a 25. And technically, that still makes me overweight by 5 pounds. And then when I lose those 5 pounds, I will be on the absolute heaviest end of healthy. For my height, my weight should range from 105 pounds, according to the BMI chart, which is not always the healthiest, to 140 pounds. That's a 35-pound difference for someone who's the same height as me. I don't use that as like a tool per se. You know, I don't use that as the end-all be-all, the BMI chart, but I do like to see where I fall. And it is crazy to me that being this size in my body would still be considered overweight. So I'm not taking it too seriously, and I'm not like, oh, I have to get into the 105. I know my limits. I am learning so much more about what my body likes and doesn't like. And I'm listening. And for the first time in a long time, I am listening to what she wants. So feel like, and this is maybe not gonna speak to everyone, but I feel like my body and I finally get along. I don't know if that's gonna resonate with you, but for so many years, I just felt at odds, resentful, hateful toward what I thought my body could and couldn't do. Or be, I suppose. And now I feel like we are one and we are working together much more synergistically than we were prior to having surgery. A lot of people ask me how much can I eat in a single sitting, and that really ranges, but it did go from liquid only for the first months of this experience to tablespoon size, like at a time. Now I am about, I'd say like, I can eat like half a sandwich at a time. I was told I'd be able to eventually eat like a lean cuisine portion of food at a time. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm certainly in no rush to like stretch things out. So there are definitely still emotional eating triggers for me, and one of those is when I'm really, really hungry. Like I haven't done a good job pacing myself and I've let myself get super hungry. Then when I eat too quickly, I can't eat very much at all. It sits heavy and I am much more likely to throw up. And I don't really agree. It depends on the type of red meat, but like steak sits really heavy. Shrimp is my new best friend. It's the perfect protein. It's light, it doesn't hurt. I can eat 2 or 3 and be like, delicious and done. I have reintroduced alcohol because that's supposed to be a no-no for the year. But I did reintroduce alcohol and it is slow going, and I have to make sure that I am in a safe place. I'm avoiding hard alcohol, but I have reintroduced some wine, and I am finding that some works better than others, and I'm just taking really small sips, waiting in between, and I've kind of gotten into a rhythm for that. I am no caffeine, no soda. Diet Coke, I still miss her. I thought after a year of being divorced from Diet Coke, I'd be over it. I miss her every day. But I didn't drink coffee before this, so the switch from like caffeinated to decaf doesn't apply. And I guess, like, you know, people do reintroduce Diet Coke, but if I can stay away from something that's unhealthy for me, I'm going to. So for now, I don't plan to ever have Diet Coke again. It like hurts to say that out loud. But those are all my weight loss updates. And I'm gonna close out this video by posting some like befores and afters. Hope you are subscribed to be on our email list, because the weight loss emails, I'm still not really comfortable posting the befores and afters because I tend to do them in like a sports bra and workout shorts. I'm not really comfortable posting those in video form. So if you're on our email list, you'll get a much more like close-up look from my befores, which I'm still uncomfortable sharing, but I feel like if I'm going to be transparent and trustworthy, you need to see where I was so that you can understand my excitement for where I am now. Okay, friends. Saying goodbye to 90 pounds and never seeing them again. It feels good. It feels really good. I love you. Thank you so much for being here and for being a part of this journey with me. And I will see you soon. Bye.